Welcome. This is the Buddhist Yoga and Medicine podcast. I'm joined again by Drubpon Pema Rigdzin. Drubpon, wonderful to have you here.
Mhm.
So, Drubpon La, we wanted to touch on this notion of Vajrayana and healing. And there are a
Mhm.
number of ritual practices that you guided and led. And I was wondering for those who are Buddhist practitioners or Vajrayana practitioners, what goes into the qualifications to perform these ritual healing activities, trinlay or pujas on others' behalf or on for oneself? And I'm taking reference some of the rituals and practices you've recently held. So one of them is from the Tsokye Thugthik. If you can explain a little bit about what is a guru Deva or Dakini practice. Um, Specifically here, the practice was of Padmasambhava as the medicine Buddha or organ Menla. So if you could give us
Mhm.
a little preface as to how these healing practices fit within Dudjom Tersar or traditional lineage, and when does one engage in these practices?
Well, Lama Tartin was very traditional in his approach, and he really wanted to teach as much as he was a Dzogchen master, and as much as everything he taught was always pervaded by the view of great perfection. He was a master of Anu Yoga, really a master of Anu Yoga recognized in the whole community, Tibetan community. But he was a master of Mahayoga. He did at least 50, he said he accomplished 50 different idams in retreats. Some of those idams he did, like, for example, Tromanakmo. He did the Tromanakmo creation phase 4 times: 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. And he did the 100-day retreat, the Nyansa, at least once. And he did the Troma Great Perfection at least once. So you can imagine some. Um, I will not be surprised if he did Vajrakilaya more than 6 times. Uh, so he was a total master of Mahayoga. But if you ask him, he is going to say, I like when people call me Ngondro Lama. So basically, he was very traditional and very, although very much great perfection oriented, he was very gradualist. In Drubdra, he taught us 100% in the gradual path. First, you guys do Ngondro, then you guys do Mahayoga, then you guys do Anu Yoga, then you do a Ati Yoga, first the preliminaries, then the primordial purity aspect, then the spontaneous presence aspect. Everything in a sequence. So, having said that, the termas of Jigjao Yeshe Dorji, Jinja Rinpoche, they are divided in, well, in 2 volumes. Yeah, primarily 2 volumes. Um, the volume Ba, Khandro Tuktik, and the volume, no, I think Ma, Khandro Tuktik, and Ba, you have Dorje Machopa, Dorje Drolo, Putri Repung. And on my, he has Khandro Thugthik and Tsokye Thugthik. Well, when we talk about those practices, we are talking about what we call the three roots. I'm not talking about Dudjom Limpa and the legacy of Dudjom Limpa. I'm talking just about Jigjai Dorje because talking about Dudjom Limpa would take us to a totally different universe. And I don't think it's would be so useful here. We have a system of three different idam, three different idam structures. Some of those idams are they follow a full cycle of practices. What's a full cycle? It's a cycle of creation and completion. When we talk about guru, the most important central, better saying, guru practice in the Dudjom Tersar is the Tsokye Thugthik cycle. That is the cycle of Guru Rinpoche in his Sambhogakaya form, white, in union with Mandarava, and the main activity is longevity. It is a complete cycle. Yes, it is a complete cycle in the sense that it has creation phase and completion phase. It has an actual saloon cycle, very short, but it's there. It's not in the Sumbun, by the way. This is an oral tradition. Then the Tsokye Thugthik will have its branches. The first one is Organ Menla, that is the medicine Buddha tantric tradition in the form of Guru Rinpoche as the medicine Buddha. There are two texts. One is the Menchok, or the healing ritual, and basically we do exactly the same mantras of Guru Pema Totensal, Bendra Samaya Dasi, no, Om Bendra Pema Totensal, Bendra Samaya Dasi de Palahua, no, forgot now. And but the same mantras of the medicine Buddha, including the Bekanze and the Dharani. The second text is the accomplishment practice, in which you have the Totransal mantra. Yeah, that's it. I think I have it right. In union with the medicine Buddha's one single mantra, third single mantra. Then the next aspect is the Organ Khandro Norla, or Guru Rinpoche as the wealth deity. And obviously, one of the main activities is wealth. There is even a manual for making treasure vases that we sell in Vajrayana Foundation. Please go to treasureofabundance.com. Thank you. And rituals for the spirits of poverty. So that would be the Organ Khandro Norla cycle. Then we have the Drubpon, or the combined practice of Guru Drubpon, wrathful form of Guru Rinpoche, inseparable from Hayagriva and Vajrakilaya. It's a very particular cycle. Finally, we have the innermost secret aspect, that is Guru Dorje Drolo. Guru Dorje Drolo is divided in two sadhanas. One, it's the long sadhana that has creation and completion. For completion, there is a great perfection cycle centered upon primordial purity. And there is the short Guru Dorje Drolo sadhana that has creation and completion, including the outer aspect related to the creation phase, inner aspect related to longevity. That's why in his iconography you have Amitadius Yabium on top of his head, a secret cycle related to primordial purity, and the innermost secret cycle of teachings related to eating the sky. But there is just a few lines telling us about that. Jigjoye Shedorje never really expanded. So you have to wait for a reincarnation, a Yangtze of Jigjoye Shedorje to expand that. Okay, those are the sadhanas in the category of lama. In terms of Yidam, the revelation, the central revelation of Jigjayi Shidorji is Vajrakilaya Putri Repung. There are other Vajrakilayas in the Dudjom Sumbun, including the one from Zuru Nakadorji, and two others from Dudjom Limpa, the Namchak Putri and the Purba Deshek Nimpo. But the actual central Eden practice of Jigjayi Shedorje is Revelations is Putri Rekpon. And we have the Dakini category of Idams. The central revelation is Khandro Thugthik. And Khandro Thugthik is the Eden form of Khandro Yishitsugyal, the consort of Guru Rinpoche, and it's a cycle with an immense amount of letsok, of special applications. Within this revelation, we have other shorter cycles that are part of Khandro Thugthik, including the Dakini, lion face Dakini or Sendoma. And in this particular practice, the main activity, forgot to say, Khandro Thugthik, it's really complete in terms of creation and completion, having an Anu Yoga cycle, a Ati Yoga cycle. There is nothing missing. Sometimes people look at Khandro Thugthik and say, oh, but it's so short. No, 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 no. You're totally wrong. Khandro Thugthik, it's complete. It has absolutely everything you want in terms of creation and completion. It's a wish-fulfilling gel. Lama Tarchi Rinpoche would, at the end of Khandro Thugthik Puja in Drupda, he would say, wow, this is so beautiful. It's like reading the Choinzud. Oh, Kyabja Rinpoche hide whole Choinzo inside of Khandro Thugthik. She is Choinzo embodied. And that's what how Lama Tarchin would take Khandro Thugthik in high regard. Khandro Thugthik, I'll tell you one interesting thing. 4 times Lama Tarchin Rinpoche gave up all his possessions. 3 times to Dunjan Jigdrai Shedorji, 1 to Dunsi Chinlinor Rinpoche. One of those times was when he finished retreat. He came out of retreat and he gave everything he had to Dunjan Jigdrai Shedorji. The only things that he kept was the Khandro, Thugthik, Pecha, and his circuit to make offerings to the protectors. Everything else he gave to Dunjan Jigdrai Shedorji. And I think that should be seen as a testament to Lama Tarchin's, how much Lama Tarchin treasured the Khandro Thugthik cycle. Well, having said that, His branch practices are the lion face Dakini, that is a practice very much related to Dokpa, or to send back negativity towards the actual origin of this negativity that is beyond positivity or negativity, the basic space of phenomena. No, 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 it's not a practice to send back black magic on people. We Buddhists, we do something different. We go back to the origin of everything, basic space. Um, Kurukuli cycle, very short too. Lama Tarchin was very fond of it. It's a Kurukuli with 2 arms. And finally, no, that's actually not finally. And the Troma Nakmo, that if you read the Ichung of Jigjaya Shadorji's Troma Nakmo, he's going to say that that is his most profound revelation. And there is a Dorje Pakmo too, that it was not extended, but it's there. It's there. And I know at least 3 people who practice this. So those practices are, they form the core of Digjayi Dorji's creation and completion cycles of Lama, Idam, and Dakini.
So for some listening, these are the 3 roots, and sometimes we say we take out refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and these 3 roots are what we take refuge in Vajrayana practice. But many are interested in the healing practices, and what is usually required in terms of doing sadhanas or generation stage before one engages in healing activities?
Well, I want to talk about healing activities. Healing activities are part of what we call Nedon sorry, go back. Pacifying activity. When we talk about pacifying activity, we're talking about pacifying Nedon Dik Drip. Ne means illnesses. Dön means provocations. Dikpa means obscurations, and Dripa means contaminations. So when we talk about healing practices, they all fall inside of the category of pacifying practices. If you ask some lamas, they are going to say, oh yeah, pacification is about pacifying the Dondik trip. But really, if you ask other lamas, pacification, it's about pacifying suffering, pacifying our own capacity to produce experiences of pain and suffering. And that's not going to be accomplished if we do not have a perspective that the origin of suffering is actually our own mind. And if there is no perspective on doing that, we are going to keep applying methods the same way that a shaman or a magician applies. If you want to get your problems resolved, yeah, go to Brazil. We have lots of magic professionals that can serve you very well, but it's not going to have the perspective of the view. And that's what Buddhism brings different from other traditions. You need to have a perspective of the view. And this view start by having developed unshakable confidence in Buddha Dharma Sangha and taking refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha. If you don't take refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha, you are going to end up taking refuge in the god Buddha, the god Dharma, and the god Sangha. Refuge doesn't work if you take the three jewels as a god, as a entity there outside. And if you don't apply the principles of taking vows, the vow of refuge is first of all a vow of do not creating non-virtue. The power of purification comes from there. The power to free us from suffering starts from saying, Freddie, stop being mean and doing those mean things. Otherwise, if we don't utilize the power of vows, we are just going to be eternalists like any other eternalist. Second, we must, by all means, take and sustain properly the bodhisattva vows. The bodhisattva vows, they imply in a bodhicitta of application and um, and aspiration, which means developing a mind that wishes, vows to attain enlightenment. It's not enough to attain nirvana. It's not enough to attain cessation of suffering. It's necessary to attain full Buddhahood. And that's why we don't say Korde in the Dunse Tina Norbo universe samsara nirvana. We say samsara and enlightenment. Because in this context, we are talking about enlightenment. How you do this? By developing a mind that is based on the four immeasurables: love, compassion, equanimity, and I'm forgetting the next. I'm forgetting the fourth one. Love, compassion, equanimity, and
Upeka, which however you want to translate that.
how do you translate that?
I don't want to say ambivalence. Uh, when there's wrongdoing or harm, you don't turn away, but you don't also have a false compassion or kindness towards it.
Oh, rejoicing.
Yes. I'll rejoice. No, sympathetic joy. Pardon me. Sympathetic joy.
Oh, yeah. Sympathetic joy or rejoicing. So if you don't start your practice with that, that is not dharma. I mean, it's at least not Mahayana dharma. You're not practicing as a bodhisattva. If I'm a chaplain and I want to have a patient who is dying, well, let me do some tantric practice here to extend his life. No, let me do some yamantaka. Oh, beautiful. What is the point? What's the motivation? We have a 90 years old patient, totally sick with all kinds of neurodegenerative. I'm thinking about being great in my powerful practice, or I'm really thinking about the best for the patient. You know, all of those things need to be taken in consideration. You need to take in consideration because bodhicitta must be what you use to base your practice. So you're talking about the bodhicitta of applying. And here we talk about the 6 paramitas. It's useless to go and do a Orgyan Menla if you don't have a daily commitment of applying the 6 paramitas in all your life, aspects of your life. It's absolutely necessary to do that. Otherwise, the two things are not going. Again, you can your healing practice become ego, become business, become magic, white, black, whatever you want to call it. So when you, and I'm not even talking about all sentient beings, I'm just talking about enlightenment, about having a conduct based on the 6 paramitas, a mind that do practice based on the 4 immeasurables. So I think that that's the how you start to establish the foundation for your practice. And the best way to do that is by practicing Ngondro. The Utoknintik is great. You can do Ngondro in 7 days. But as Dr. Nida said, the Utoknintik, it's a tradition of connection. You need to have your own practice that you already established and you are following. I'm in the Dudjom Tersar system. I have my whole practice in the Dudjom system. But I can visit the Utoknintik. I can make a connection through the Utoknintik with 7-day retreats. But I cannot boast, oh yeah, I finished my Ngondro. First, because finishing your Ngondro, you know the meaning of that, all those 100,000s. Second, because meaning finishing your Ngondro means that you completed your accumulations of merit and wisdom, and you completed your purification of karma. And that does not finish until the end of your path. And the pith of the path is Guru Yoga. How are you going to do tantric practice to benefit others if you receive an empowerment, you feel that you are great, you go and do, and you have total disregard for your connection with your Lama? That is the root of blessings. As soon as I received my first empowerment, that was the Red Tara empowerment for crystal healing, I immediately started to do it. Immediately. And I started to have signs immediately and do ceremonies immediately. And you know what? It worked. So if you are just looking for results, whatever you do is going to work. Any sadhana you do, you're going to work. You can take a sadhana of, I don't know, Buddha Shakyamuni do Om Muni Muni Mahamuna Yesoha, and you are going to get healing. That's not a big deal. People throughout the world is doing shamanic and animistic, Pentecostal ceremonies, Christian, Catholic ceremonies, are killing their enemies using the Psalms in the Bible. And it works. You don't need any practice. You don't need any bodhicitta. You have a problem with your enemy, just open the Psalms in the Bible and start to do those Psalms for destroying your enemy. You will do it. Oh, that's the black magic. No, it's not black magic. It's the Bible, the Psalms. But so what I'm saying is you don't need anything to do healing. You can, or whatever. You can just sit there and do whatever you want with the intention of doing it, and you will accomplish with this intention. But that's not dharma. That is not dharma. If you want to do dharma, refuge, bodhicitta, mundro. Why do we do a close retreat in Tsokye Thugthik we call Nyen Drup before I venture ourselves to do long life practice for other people? Nyempa means to approach. When I started to do Red Tara, I didn't approach Red Tara, just said, okay, hey, worked, yay, I'm great. That's not dharma. And if you want to really know Tara, if you want Tara to become your friend, you need to approach, you need to invite Tara for dinner. That if you spend 1 full month doing Tara practice, 13, 15 days of the retreat, we are going to be doing approach, Nyempa, inviting Tara for dinner 4 times a day for 3 hours. And then we have the second side of the part of the Nyandrup, that's the Drupa, the accomplishment. What we are going to accomplish? Oh, I know. I'm going to accomplish the capacity of Tara for healing. No, you are accomplishing all phenomena as Buddha phenomena. And that's not really going to give you any capacity for healing, by the way, but it's going to take you to enlightenment. It's going to change your perspective and will hopefully bring you and the wisdom mind of Tara as one single thing. Then, yeah, you can do the Tara mantras for healing. Yeah, for 2 or 3 days, 1 day. That's what Lama Tarchin will do for us. Because for him, the ledger, the applying of activity, the mantras for applied activity, they were not important. You should be a practitioner to attain enlightenment, not for offering magic. For magic, you can use any deity of any religion in any place in the world. You just need intention and you do it. No problem. That's the story.
Perfect. um, Now about methods. People are interested in methods. I think this is the right orientation and view. Um, if you would share just a little bit about what is a Lenchak Torma?
Lenchak Torma. Lenchak, it's your debit, it's your karmic creditors. They have a credit and you are the one in debt to them. So Lenchak Torma, it's a procedure that from times to times come in the um, in the divination for someone who has a lot of karmic debts and is having obstacles and should apply that method for purifying karma and building, how do you say, merit. So there are different forms of Lenchak Torma. Sometimes you can use an actual Torma and a Hotsuk for that. Dudjom Limpa has a water Torma offering, very short for that, and an extensive that it even have a water offering for Zambala and another for, what's the name? Those guys. The um, uh, Hungry Ghosts. And that's an excellent example. Excellent example. My favorite method is actually the Chambu Gyatsa. It's going to, from the trauma cycle. It's going to accomplish precisely the same, and it's fun. But back to the Lenchak Torma, okay, I have very limited merit. Here, you, how is the name of them? Hungry Ghosts. Here, take this, Hungry Ghosts, take this. Take all of this. Ugh, Hungry Ghosts, I hate them. There is no motivation. Their motivation is totally get rid of your poverty and your karmic creditors. And Zambala. Oh, I'm going to do Zambala here. Woohoo! That make my business work. Woohoo! Take it, Zambala. Forget all sentient beings. This is for myself. You see, you can use Lenchak Torma as a great method of doing magic. Or you can make you can use the Lenchak Torma as a great method to repay the kindness of those sentient beings who were our mothers and who now towards who we have karmic debts, and we want to free from suffering at the same time that we accumulate merit and wisdom and we purify our obscurations. Really, my favorite style of doing it is with Chambugyatsa, but from the trauma cycle. But actually, the Lenchak Torma is it's much simpler. Anyone can do it, I think. Khandro Kunzang taught it, I think, some time ago. And just one more thing about it. For a while, I used to do that on Mondays. In Brazil, Mondays are the day of the week related to the souls. So it's very traditional. People offer masses in the church to all souls in the purgatory. And for some time, I thought, oh, why not? I can offer this Lenchak Torma to all beings in the my karmic debtors, no creditors, and I can pray for their liberation from the hungry ghost realm, and still I'm feeling very Brazilian.
What about these methods of sang or sur? Can you tell us a little bit about what they are?
Well, sur is specifically the offering of the smell. So three different things. Fire puja, fire means fire, puja means offering. It's offering to the fire, to the wisdom deity within the fire, mediated by the fire god, that is fire itself. So that is fire puja, jinsek or meche. You have we have sang. Sang is an offering of, no, it's not to the fire. It is an offering of smoke. So you need to make smoke. Sur it's an offering of smell. It involves smoke as a way to move the smells. But what we are offering is smells. And you have chid, water tormes, like the Lenchak, for example. San, and Sur, they are going to be, all of them are going to have four kinds of guests. The first kind of type of guests are the three jewels, the three roots, the three kayas, the nadis, vayu, and bindu. So the enlightened people. Why we offer to them? So that we can accumulate merit and wisdom. The second category of guests are the Dharma protectors. We offer for removing obstacles. The third category are the Lenchak, our Dharma karmic creditors, so that they can be, our karmic relationship can be free, can be we can
Harmonized.
zero, huh?
Oh, made made even.
Made even.
Even.
And we also offer the fourth category are the all sentient beings. So through that offering, all sentient beings can be freed from suffering. Okay, what is the particularity of each one of this? Well, when you practice the Lujin, or offering your own body, which is the most well-known practice in the Chud tradition or in the Chud cycles, you are accomplishing great accumulation of merit wisdom, because you're offering your favorite thing, your body. Doesn't matter if you're skinny or fat. At the end of the day, you need your body, and you are very happy to have it. Oh no, I'm totally detached. You know when you are detached or not in relation to your body? When you are in an airplane and start to shake. Then you, oh my God, I need this body, I don't want to die. So that would be the chi. But when you talk about chi, it's to cut through the four matters. It's much more complex than the practice of lujin, of offering the body. And there are four kinds of feasts. Each one has a very particular aspect that I'm not going to develop today, because this is going to end up being about chid. Well, the second offering is the the water offerings. And many times the water offerings are going to be related to Zambala and the four kinds of guests, to the four kinds of guests, but in particular the the pretas, the starving spirits, and another form to do the water tormas, it's to offer the nagas. When I was in retreat, behind my cabin, there was a water eye. How do you call that? Water eye source spring.
Well, spring.
So every week, yeah, I would do water offerings, water torma offerings to the nagas there, as long it was not a forbidden day, a baden. On the other hand, so those are the particularities of the water tormas or tutor. Then you have the sur. Sur, again, it's for the four kinds of guests, but in particular, the beings who really appreciate sur are the beings in the bardo. So I remember in the beginning of retreat, we have someone whose friend passed away. Instead of Rinpoche saying, oh, let's do Poa. No, we just started retreat. No one was trained in anything. Rinpoche said, okay, let's do something that everybody can do. Sur. So the Sur has this very deep connection with beings in the bardo. But actually, it can be offered to any kind of karmic deditor you have, any kind of Lenchak you have. For example, we had an infestation of pigs in Pema. Pigs. And the pigs were destroying everything. In particular, but that was fine. We live in the forest. Until finally they started to destroy the lawn where we do the weddings. And that became a problem. And Lama Sonam said, do sur, let's do sur. This is karmic debt we have with the pigs. The only thing I say I know it's that we haven't been having seen a single pig here for years. And the song is my favorite. The song, Lama Tartin would say, of course, you are offering to the four kinds of guests. But outside, you always do the sur, okay, sur, outside. Why? Because you don't want to invoke the Lenchak inside of your house. You don't want to invite the karmic debtors and the beings in the bardo inside of your house. But Rio Sanchud, you always do outside without roof. Why? Because, a little bit of Chinese. You have one line here that represents the heaven, another here that represents the earth, and another line in the middle that represents humankind. And then you have one single line uniting those three levels. That is what an emperor is. And that's how you write emperor in Chinese. Sun is that line. Sun is exactly that line. Lama Tartin said that the sun should make a line between earth and sky, uniting them. And the sun, it has a very strong impact on the relationships between you and the environment, the mountain gods, the nagas, all beings, the Nyen, all those beings which we have relationship. It's like a public relations kind of practice. So when we talk about sun, it's a strongly environmentally oriented practice. But it's useless if you do sun and if you don't recycle your trash. You are doing a lot of nice things to harmonize the environment, and you are you're not recycling that trash. That doesn't work well.
Agreed. Drubpon, for this last topic, if you can, it's its own subject matter, but can you share a little bit about what a nadren is and doing this on behalf of another one, loved one or fellow practitioner? What is a nadren ceremony?
Ne means place. Dren means to guide. So Droma, Tara is the one who leads, who delivers. That's why some people translate Tara as the savior. She's not Jesus Christ. She is the one who delivers you. So a Nidrin, it's a ceremony of delivering one to a better place. The Nichiren is a ceremony used in Tibetan Buddhism to go through a series of stages in which you are going to offer a particular torma for removing obstacles. Then you are going to invite the the loved one within a representation, like a photo, a name. Then you go through the process of separating the loved one from its obstacle makers. Did you watch a movie called Ghost? Demi Moore, and
Patrick
I don't
Swayze?
remember the name of the guy. Yes. Remember the bad guy when he dies, what happens?
No.
He dies, comes out of his body a bunch of dark uh smoke like beings get hold of him and take him to the hell. So there is a particular procedure to separate the loved one from other beings who might be grasping on the loved one. Then we do another ceremony to separate the loved one from his or her non-virtues that would create karma for the loved one uh, to be connected with samsara. Then there is another stage on cleansing the actual seeds of rebirth in the six realms. Then the next stage would be to give empowerment to the loved one. So the loved one is no longer your loved one, but is a wisdom deity. Then there is an offering of sur for the loved one that now is wisdom deity, right? But just in case. And we finish this phase with the um, deliverance of the loved one into the Pure Land, what we call Poa. And once the loved one is gone, he's gone, she's gone. Bye bye. Nice to see you. Hope we'll meet one day. But there is the corpse left behind. The corpse left behind can be an actual corpse or can be just a photo. And we cremate it. And once we cremate it, we are accumulating merit and wisdom in the behalf of the loved one. And finally, we take the ashes of the body's cremation, of the photo cremation, and we make a satsa as, again, use the aggregates of the loved one to produce merit, the accumulations of merit and wisdom. So basically, that's the Nichiren ceremony, the stages of Nichiren ceremony.
Yes. And then I believe it was the Vajrasattva ceremony. Sometimes it's possible to do these practices years after, correct?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Lama Tarchin said whatever the person is in the six realms, it's going to have a deep impact. So doesn't matter which Nichiren, it can be Shitro, Vajrasattva, Troma Nakmo, Chenezig. My wife Lee, she translated a Nichiren from the Red Chenenzi of the Paiyu tradition, of the Namcha tradition. It's published by Light of Berotsana. Tromanakmo has a Nedrin. Which one? Khandro Thugthik has a Nedrin. There are Cherenzig Nedrin. There are so many Nedrins. And Lama Tarchin would say it will always bring some kind of benefit, even many years. I like to see Nedren as a kind of ancestral healing, because when we die, there is a certain part of ourselves called you, or the continuum, that manifests a mental body based on habit, and it stays going around in the bardo. The bardo, classically, it's 7 weeks, but it can be centuries, seconds. So we really don't know which is the bardo of each person. And there is the la of the person. The la is usually what we call the ghost. You go to grandma's rocking chair and, I saw mama, grandma in the rocking chair. Of course she was in the rocking chair. She has been for the 80 years in that rocking chair. Her habit is there. How we call the habit? La. Over the time, it's going to dissolve. The gu, no, the gu goes. Of course, when you have a very intense dying, like for example, assassination uh, accident, the energy projected in the light is so strong that the light can stay haunting the house for many centuries. But honestly, the La is not haunting you because the La doesn't care about you, because the La has no consciousness. But the you can be moving throughout samsara in the same way that we move in our dreams, in suffering. And the Nedrin can help very much in those cases.
In some of these more serious cases, we have this divine blue water or smoke offering for contamination. I think you had mentioned this. So in some of these, correct?
Yeah, the divine blue water, it's let's say the La is going to be the ghost. But okay, nobody's seen the ghost in the house, but someone goes to that house, it feels so bad. It feels so weird. I don't like to be in that house. There's something really bad. I remember we had a acupuncture school in Rio, and I had a student who would always say, "We need to get out of this. We need to rent another place. Someone died here. I can't feel it." Perhaps nobody died there, but there was a kind of heavy energy that could be interpreted like that. And that is a contamination, a drib. So the divine blue water would be a great method for cleansing those kinds of contaminations and restoring purity to the place.
So in terms of this Nadran, when I was growing up, we always had offering plates, Korean custom for our grandfather, and we'd place his favorite foods, and it was a special day of the year. Buddhist ceremony for, do any of these come to mind for practices that Buddhist or Vajrayana practitioners can do for grief healing, healing and loss, some way to commemorate their loved ones or ancestors? Would you suggest Nadran or anything else come to mind?
Midrin, definitely, no question. That's the best one because that's what resolves the question. There are some situations in which the goo is still inside of the house, and the goo might have passed in a state of intense, but really intense afflictive emotions, and it's causing accidents, deaths in series in the family, all of that. For that, there is a form of chambugyatsa that we use for luring and send away the dew. And there is a really hardcore ceremony called, oh gosh, Durche. We have the ceremony in the Khandro in the Tromanakmo cycle. It's very, 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 very much hardcore in terms of materials and way to do it. It's super artful. After that, we have Sur, that independent of Nedrin or not, it's always good to do Sur, especially because during Sur you can relate in a very personal way with your loved one. It's a kind of ceremony that you can just sit there and talk and offer your love. It takes time, and it's time that you build with your loved one. That you make aspirations for your loved one to find the path towards enlightenment through the dutsi that you put and attain liberation through that, because you are not just being nice and offering good smells to your loved one. You are putting dutsi there so that the loved one can, through the smell, attain liberation from samsara. So it's a great practice. Tibetans do not, as far as I see, have formal ancestral veneration in the way we see in China, Korea, and Japan. Tibetans would have what we call divine ancestors, like the mountain behind your house will have a protector, and you would have a story that everyone in that clan, in that family, would be related to that local mountain god, and offerings are made in a regular basis to receive the blessings of that divinized ancestor.
Drubpon, what is the next offering and ceremony you'll be guiding? Is it a Yangguk or for Wang?
We're going to do two things. The Yangguk on the, how do you call, that is hooking the prosperity, and that's going to happen when on the 20th, that is around the equinox. As we know, the equinox would be the peak of spring within Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine calendar. In the Western calendar, it's the beginning of spring, but in traditional medicine, it's the peak. So spring, it's the time to wake up, to open, to flower. And I thought it would be a very good time for inviting the yang and the cha energies of prosperity. And I'm going to comment on a 4-line or 5, I don't remember now, text called the Posthumous Testament of Lama Sherab Dorje, Lama 13's uncle. After he passed away, he appeared to Anzen Rinpoche in Orissa and gave him some lines of advice. And Lama 13 transmitted that to us, and I think it would be nice for all of us to reflect upon it.
Auspicious. So, Drubpon, this has been a wonderful time, and thank you for overviewing all these really important perspectives and explaining these methods for us. We hope to have you again soon. And for those who, yes, and the Wisdom Center would like to participate in this Yanguk ritual ceremony, how would they find information?
Oh, www.Wisdom Center SA Santa Cruz and put Pema Rigdzin and you'll find there.
Drubpon, Pema, Rigdzin, thank you so much again for this wonderful time.
Thank you, my friend. So happy to be here.